Hey, thank you, Mama T, for that beautiful, beautiful bring in there. Guys, it's Samp, it's Professor Bear, it's Professor of the Samp. It's Monday morning. Oh my goodness, where were we last week? I'll tell you where we were. So, Professor Bear got a call from Mama Bear and told him to come inside and eat the porridge. Professor Bear said, I don't want to eat the porridge. And I didn't hear from him for the rest of the week. So, Professor, how was the porridge?
It was very good. It was good after I ate it. And
Yeah.
I knew better. I knew better. When Mama Bear says jump, you jump.
Hey,
I
even
don't
right
know.
before this started, we both got a little call from both the respective Mama Bear and Mama Sam. So thank you, ladies, for always checking in on us and making sure we're okay,
Yes.
well fed. And because of that, we are here today, 1 week removed, a week removed from the Royal Rumble, coming up from Saudi Arabia. But before any of that, my friend, let's talk about this Trey Diggs. I apologize. TNA. I was thinking of the movie star. So TNA released the Rascals, all four of them, correct?
Correct.
Now, does that include Wesley?
Yes.
Okay, so
Well,
Wesley.
Wesley was never under contract with them.
Okay, so he ended up signing with AEW with the other three fellas, and once he got
Yes.
there, they released Trey again
Yes.
for discretions that I'm not aware of. Maybe you can shed some light on that briefly, there.
Yeah, me being me, when there's a controversy, I always like to find out what the person said or did, because in the end, we all are human and we make mistakes in our younger days a lot of times, and we're not necessarily proud of it or anything. But what he did, and it was to another wrestler, I can't remember which social media it was on,
Sure.
but he had some real negative things to say about a certain race, and I'm not going to mention the race or anything, but this happened. I think this was like in 2019,
Oh man.
18, something like that, and apparently it wasn't Tony Khan that let him go. It was people above him. And with the conversation me and you had, you like, well, who's over Tony Khan? It's WB executives. And after hearing some more, I heard one of the executives didn't want to let him go. He didn't find it. He was able to understand the situation and willing to give him another chance, which the he was outvoted, needless to say,
Yeah.
and he showed up on TNA Thursday, and they had their Feast or Fire match. Now, if
Sure.
you're not familiar with the Feast or Fire match, it's their version of WWE's Money in the Bank,
Right.
but there are four briefcases and three of them have championship matches you
Mhm.
can get at any time. The fourth one is you're getting fired from the company.
Oh wow.
So he got one of the cases. Um who was it? Eddie Edwards got a case.
Sure.
Um and right now the other two slip my mind, but they're going to be revealed on this week's coming up episode of case everybody got.
Okay, now on TNA, the ratings came in a little bit on their show, and I'm not going to hammer on it, but 90,000 people. That's a very low number. Um, do you think AMC was the right place for them? I mean, AMC is not known for wrestling. AMC is not known, I mean, when I think of AMC, I think of Walking Dead.
Right,
When I think of AMC, I think of other shows like that. When I think of AMC, I think of Christmas Time, Elf, all the Christmas movies. So
right.
so they've never really dove into the wrestling scene. Do you think this is something that could be a problem in the future, or something that we need to wait to see to grow and see how people start to buy into it?
I think, and I've heard a lot of people talking about uh, this was a bad move on their part, this, that, and other. Myself, I think that it's good because let's face it, any network that has not had wrestling is taking a chance because one, if you have people in your company that don't follow wrestling, don't understand it, then that's going to be an issue right off the bat. I think that they were prepared that the ratings were going to be low. AMC is apparently happy with it. And I've even heard that the show that TNA took its place beat them in ratings. So the
Well,
ratings are low.
but wrestling in general, no matter what network it's on, no matter what the number does, it's usually the highest rated program that they have for the most part. I mean, if you look at outside of, maybe networks carrying the Super Bowl and stuff like that, or some, big events like, the
Right,
final episode of MASH, for example, you know what I mean? Things like that.
right, right.
I mean, for the most part, wrestling usually carries the network. I mean, why do you think that the USA Network hasn't wanted to give up, the SmackDown? Because they realize that Friday night, that 3 hours gives them all the ratings and all the marketing, the commercials that they need for the whole week to sustain.
Right.
Because Law and Order SUV, is not going to give you 300,000 views, 400,000 views. I know those numbers are low, and I'm coming off an interview with Vince Russo. So, guys, cheap plug, check out the other show, Samp and Chance. We did a great interview with Vince Russo. So make sure to check that out. And that's the thing, kind of stuff that we kind of talked about there. And, kind of got my mind working a little bit as well. Like, are we basing numbers on a time where there was no other way to consume product? We live
Yeah,
in a
I
time
think
now,
so. I
right? We
think
live
so.
we live in a time and age where everything is streamed, right? Nielsen
Exactly.
has changed the way that they calculate how things are. So, from one week, WWE could have been sitting at, 1.5 million views, but because of the new rating system, it drops to 950,000, which I don't know if that's right or wrong, but you know what I mean? It's just kind of like there's just so many different ways now of grasping this information or curating it. So is
Yeah,
that 91,000 a legit number? Is that 91,000 only people tuning in live, not the people who watched it after the fact, not the people who
exactly.
tuned in after the fact? And that being said, sorry, Bear, one last thing. 91,000 people on AMC. What were you guys doing on Anthem?
Again, you couldn't. Most people couldn't find Anthem. So again, that's why I'm not like most other people. Oh my God, their numbers suck. Blah blah. Look, it is their start. Like you said, AMC has not had any professional wrestling on, so it's going to take time for them to build them up and see how everything goes. Because again, I always say this about us wrestling fans, and I definitely mean us because I'm a wrestling fan.
Sure.
We are some of the flickless people on earth. We just, one minute we love it, next minute we hate it, this, that, and the other. I'm just like, calm down and let it play out. 2 episodes and y'all ready to bury them.
Well, I mean, and this is the world that we live in, brother. I mean, think about it. I mean, even from our childhood days, slowing down by a car wreck just to see what happened. It's just our human nature to see other things that don't affect us and be interested by it because it's not our problem. In a way,
Yeah,
it's almost psychologically making us feel better about ourselves and our own situations. And that's human nature. We're not a psychology show, but hey, we will drop some shit here once in a while. Happy Monday, everybody. You're listening to Professor and the Bear. So, guys, Here's another thing that I really wanted to talk about here. I know that we're doing reviews and looking ahead to the week, but Bear, I have this question that's been permeating in my mind for the last 2 weeks, and because you were too busy eating porridge last week, I didn't get a chance to break it down with you. We always complain about the writers. We complain about the bookers. We complain about the fan interaction. We complain about this. We complain about that. At what point, Bear, do we have to start putting some of this blame on the talent? And I say that with an open heart because I'm thinking about Vince McMahon a lot recently, okay? And I realized in the last 10 years that he was running the company, he couldn't have the control that he used to have. Now, I have a very special guest coming up on here pretty soon, and Vince made him win the women's championship. Okay. And this is something that I want to bring up because, you think about it, is something like that gonna hurt you? Is that something like that gonna make you look stupid? Is something like that gonna make you not be able to get to that next level because of what he asked you to do? You know, Back in the day, guys did whatever Vince said because they understood the business from that perspective. Feelings were hard, feelings were tough. You didn't get hurt easy. I think what I'm trying to get to here is today's wrestler soft. And,
You
and,
know,
and I hate to use the word woke, and I hate to use the current situation in the world. But when I look at
right.
millennials and zillennials, because that's the market that we're getting into now, these are the new wrestlers that are coming up into the game. They're very sensitive bunch of people overall. It doesn't matter if you can lift or bench press 5,000 pounds, that emotional buildup is still the same. So do you think because of that, I know it's really long-winded here, I'm sorry, but with Vince
No,
McMahon and the way Vince runs the business in an old school fashion, do you think that's why he was losing control of this younger generation who couldn't buy into it and couldn't accept the things that he wanted them to do? Is there
so
is there a lack of fear in today's wrestler because everything's guaranteed, and if you get hurt you still get paid? Where back in the day everyone had to work for their spot, everyone had to do it. If you didn't work you didn't get paid. Everyone's getting paid now, and everyone's getting patted on the back and told they're doing a great job when they're not, in some
I think
cases.
I think that it's the world we live in that has taken over saying certain things and look at trying to be more in tune. I think that's a good word, in tune with people, and they don't want to drive them so far. And I think I wouldn't say that people are soft. They take advantage. They take advantage of I can say this and not get in trouble. I can do this and not get in trouble. There's no consequence to a lot of actions that people do. And I think that's it's not, I won't say it's missing in wrestling. What I will say is sometimes to go forward, you have to take a step back. And what I mean is you have to incorporate some of the old things because it worked, but have a twist on it where it's a balance. Because right now, if you don't have a balance of anything, you're either going too far right or too far left. You got and balance is a tricky thing. As far as do I feel like wrestlers are soft today? I would say no. I say they have more, like you said, they have more of an advantage of I know I can make money. I can make this money. So I don't have to kill myself to do it. My family is going to eat, no, regardless of what, because of this contract. We're getting better. This is this is as close as I think we'll ever get to having a wrestling union. And again, I think that yes, some wrestlers, it's their fault. No doubt about it. They don't put in the time, they don't put in the effort, they don't they don't care. I would never say that all wrestlers in this generation are, because there are some wrestlers out there that are working their asses off
Hmm.
to for the love of the sport, not the money, nothing else. Just because they love it so much, they do it. Now, um, I think especially now, you can tell where people don't care as much too. Because let's face it, and I hate to keep taking jabs at them, but TKO does not give a crap about wrestling. It's not wrestling for them. It is money. That's
Well,
why
there's
they're
nothing to be
doing.
apologetic there for, Bear. I mean, TKO is the villain here, in my opinion, as well, in a lot of ways. They're a movie company. They're what do you call those companies? They just buy companies. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They're amalgamate. Well, I don't know the right word I'm trying to find here, but
they want to monopolize everything,
there
have
you
their
go.
hands in everything to get money, to
Hmm.
keep that corporation until it gets sucked dry, and then they'll pass it on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the reason I'm bringing it up because I just feel like a lot of times, like, I think when I think of Vince McMahon, and I bring it back to him because I think he is the one guy that brought discipline to the game. He truly did, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you hate him or
Well,
love him, the man did whatever he had to do to make the business good. And he
well,
went,
let me say this. I don't mean to interrupt,
no,
but
no,
let
please.
me say this. He wasn't the only one. He was the one that took out all the other ones. And what I mean by that, because territory wrestling, that's why they had the same person on top, because they could trust them. They drew money.
Sure.
A lot of guys who were bookers or it was their territory, they kept themselves on top because I can't trust nobody else. I
Yeah.
can trust me.
Yeah.
And yes, I you are 100% right. If Tony Khan would lay a little more layer of
A foundational basis of
control,
what's right and wrong. Control. Yeah.
right? Yeah, more control of that. I think it'll be better, but he's doing a better job than I think a lot of people give him credit for too.
It's a matter of
He's
opinion.
not Vince. He will
Yeah.
never be Vince, but he's no pushover as a lot of people think. He, he's in that frame of mind for me.
Sure.
Is like he's like one of us. If we had a company, I think we'll be so at first. So wow, this is my company, and I can do this and this. I'm gonna listen to him for a second, and then let people, and then like, hey, you have the freedom to do your character and stuff. But then it comes a time you have to pull it in.
But I
It's like,
think he missed
okay,
that boat, though.
I don't, I
I do
don't.
because in my opinion, I think he's let everyone kind of do their own thing for so long. It's kind of like finally coming in and saying, "Hey, we're going to change it this way." Based on what I know of current talent down there, they're not going to buy into it because they don't like it, right? And
Well,
when you get to that point, you lose them. See, this is something that he should have established, in my opinion, a long time ago. In the first year, this should have been established. Hey, I'm going to give you free run. I'm going to let you write your own promos. I'm going to let you do your own thing. But understand these are the foundational basis of this company, and this is how it's going to go. He didn't do that.
well, yeah, I was gonna say, if you ask anybody who Tony Khan was in that first year, hell, I say 85% was like, who is that?
Right.
Because he let Cody, the Bucks, he let them beat it up front,
Mhm.
and he just kind of sat back and looked, and then he was like, finally, it was. I don't want to say going off the rails, but it was definitely where he's like, okay, I have to start reining them in.
But look, I don't think the company's ever gone off the rails, in my opinion. I think it's more internal in that sense, where they started to see it. Like the program itself was never affected. It still delivered what those fans of that particular style of wrestling wanted to see. They got all
Right.
that, right? But I think it's because we live in this world now, like, we talk about technology. We talk about all these things. The only reason, in a lot of cases, that a lot of us are not in jail is because we didn't have cell phones, right?
Yeah.
Let's be honest, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not
I
proud.
mean,
I'm not proud of some of the things I did in my life, to be completely honest. But at the same time, I've taken acceptance of those bad deeds, and actually reached out to some of these people to say sorry, later on in life. But there was nothing there to ever capture it ever happening.
yeah, we didn't, as the, as the young people say, I ain't snitching on myself.
No, dude, I didn't do shit. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, think about it, man.
Prove it.
Some of
Prove
the
I did
craziest shit
that.
that we did, some of the stuff that this youth is like bragging about, we already did that stuff. Funny
And,
story. I told little Miss the other day, hey, I caught her doing something funny, right? Silly. I said,
uh,
hey, no, I wrote the book on this. I know what you're doing. This is a generation, okay? See, what's the book called, Dada? That's what she took from that. She wanted to know what the book was called. How many times have your parents ever said to you growing up, I wrote the book on this. I know exactly what you're doing.
oh yeah.
Did you ever ask what
Say,
it was called?
it, it's so funny because I told both my kids, I'm like, when you lie, don't worry about it. I know. Look, I might not get it today, but when I get it down the line, and when I find out, because I always do, you you would pray to God
Now,
that
boys
you
and
would have told on yourself.
boys and girls, listen to Professor Bear and listen to the sound, because we're going to tell you something that not even a dean of wrestling could tell you. We come from experience, and we understand. Like, I, as a parent now, understand how my parents knew when I was lying.
Hmm.
Facial expressions, telltale little glances, little things like that. I'm starting to pick up on now. Like, I get it. This is another lesson from my parents that I'm finally realizing. Hey,
Exactly.
let's get back to the wrestling. Okay, so we've touched on a lot of kind of interesting kind of topics here, but you know what? We have the Royal Rumble coming up here, Bear.
Yes.
The Royal Rumble is coming up, and was it just me? Or did Saturday night's main event last night just kind of, or on Saturday night, sorry, just kind of happen? Like, I know I cover wrestling. We both cover wrestling. We watch wrestling. We do all the stuff. But I just didn't remember this one.
It was
It's a weird
funny
one.
enough to me. I thought to myself, this was the only one I actually watched in full. This was more of this was gonna add to the Royal Rumble. It was more of a piece of, hey, I know the Royal Rumble was here, but we can't get there until we fix this and put this plot here. So
Right.
I wasn't necessarily to me it was one of the better Saturday night main event.
And that's what I wanted to
Uh,
bring up here.
one thing that just irritated me, and I knew why they did it, but it still irritated me. The Jacob Cody match.
Hmm. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Here's my
It
take on it very quickly, if I may.
Go ahead.
I know what direction you want to go in, but I just want to put this down first just so you can hear me out. I thought it
Yeah.
was okay. I had no problem with it because I know the direction we're going with this. I know, regardless of what happens at Royal Rumble, regardless of what happens at Elimination Chamber, that is your main event right there for WrestleMania night one or two. I don't know. But that is going to be your main event for one of those nights. It's going to be a three-way dance somehow here.
Yeah.
And I like what they're doing. They're planting that seed. What does Drew have to even worry about? You're thinking about it. Drew doesn't need to be out there attacking these two guys. He needs to be focused on the four men that were fighting later on that night. We'll talk about that because there's a lot of heat on that one as well for who came
Yeah.
out of that match, right? Um,
Right.
but we'll talk about that. And I also have a solution for that one as well. But Bear, your thoughts on it? Why were you not happy about it?
Well, just because I knew what was going to happen, like you said, immediately when they just started fighting and then the rep, I was like, okay, this is just going to be a pull apart for a while, dancing around the arena. For what's going to come out of this, I was fine with it. But I did not need them to run around for 20 minutes, beating up all the security. And because you got two tweeners, because let's face it, you don't know Cody has, and Jacob's always been a good tweener. But now Drew jumped in it again, and I get tired of the
I get that, but let's remember, Bear, it's a TV show.
no
And
again,
the TV show goes, it's about storylines, and we all complain about storylines. We complain there's not enough storylines in wrestling, right?
right?
Even when I talked to Vince last week, that was one of the spots that we talked about, the lack of storylines. What's going on? Why are we so enamored by the lack of something that we're not getting yet? When we're seeing it, people are still not buying into it. This is a
Yeah,
story, right? The story is being told. Like, you don't want to destroy each other either, but you're at a point with these two guys. Cody doesn't know what to do now without the strap. Here comes Jacob Fatu, wrestling for the first time in the WWE without a t-shirt, mind you. That was something that I picked up on here, that he had no shirt on.
yeah.
So that's a new look for him. So that's a new different angle that we're getting here. We have a long way to Mania. We do. But what they're doing is building the story now. So until that time comes up, you got to keep these two guys engaged. They're going to cost each other at the Rumble. They'll probably toss each other out at the Rumble, right? If one wins, maybe Jacob wins, and maybe Cody wins the Elimination Chamber somehow. And this is how they get this job done. But this is what they're trying to do. I think it was more just to keep the other two guys strong and
Right.
just show that intense hatred. And, the fans were eating it up. They loved it.
Well, and again, I get it, and I'm not mad at what they're doing.
No, no, no. I understand.
It's just the Saturday night's main event. You only already having four matches. I don't need you to kill one and just keep juggling. If that's the case, then why put them on there? Do that on a SmackDown. And
I
the
get it.
reason I say that is you have so many new people coming up. They could have used that to help push them.
No, no, and,
But
and and that's another angle, man, and that's why we are the professor and the Samp, man. Guys, make sure to check us out every Monday. I'm gonna keep plugging us as we go along here, just so you know. Uh, okay, so let's move on to my favorite match, and I'm not saying that because they're my hall passes, but man, that women's match delivered in bunches and bunches, in my opinion. Probably the best match of the night, to be fair, in my opinion. Uh, it was just fun. And this is what I liked about the Saturday night's main event. The one that wasn't publicized, the one that didn't have all the hype, actually delivered more so than the other ones all combined. And
I would say
this match saved the show.
I would say this. I was not expecting that great of a match. I'm not gonna lie. Now, I didn't think it was gonna be a flop or anything, but I know the people that were in it, they could carry a good match. I didn't think it was like, oh wow, they're doing this. All right.
I'll be honest,
Like
man, I thought Kiana James would have been the weakest link in that whole thing, but she even delivered. Like, I mean,
that, and actually I love how she interfered, and then Stephanie came out. I enjoyed that. You can see she's healthy. Now you got to build up. They may even throw them into a singles match. Who knows?
well,
At the Royal
well,
Rumble.
you're talking about Raquel Rodriguez, right?
Yes.
But yeah, Raquel came out, broke up the pin count, knocked out the referee. And this is kind of again, storytelling at its finest. Well, not at its finest, but storytelling here.
Good.
Let's
Yeah.
look at the story. You have dissension kind of building between the girls in the Judgment Day that way, with Liv Morgan and Raquel. Raquel wasn't being seen. Where was she in that match until she showed up, right? Because her
Right.
focus is Stephanie. She is focusing on the women's championship. So that story is really good there as well. You don't have Charlotte, you don't have Bailey, you don't have Becky, you don't have all the names that don't need to be there right now. You have two girls going after the strap, which is great. Why aren't people talking about that? Right? So that's one thing that I want to bring up. Like, I'm going to try to change the attitude of people as we go along here, man. Like, just remember, I'm going to say it again and again and again. It's a TV show, people, right?
It's
Like, I don't read the dirt sheets on The Young and the Restless or Days of Our Lives or General Hospital, but do they talk like this? Are they all upset about that? Right? Like, I mean, I would love to see people talk about how Victor Newman sleeps around with everybody in Genoa City, and yet none of his kids are inbred. Right? Like, I mean, come on, man.
I,
You made me do Chris Jericho. Come on, man.
you know, um, with that, um, with the women's match, I loved it, but that shows the issues that I think they have just in general. You don't have enough women to juggle everything that's going on. Because now, if you look at it, the tag team division is hot as it ever has been. Why is that? Because they've taken a lot of single wrestlers and put them in the tag teams, and they are getting um, more light shined on the tag titles because of your main people. Now, if you look at the single titles, it's a waste.
No, see, I disagree, Bear, because I think by taking Charlotte, by taking Bailey and putting them in a different picture, this opens the door for Stephanie and Raquel to actually shine and build something here. See, a part of building something new and with new talent, in my opinion, is you've got to give them the platform to do the work. I mean,
No,
if we're already upset or if fans are upset and already complaining about this and that, how can we let these girls grow?
no, I agree with you there. I'm not upset with
No, no,
Stephanie.
no, no. I'm not saying you.
What I am upset, well, not upset, it's just one of those things that I noticed
Sure.
and I heard. Do you know that since Jade Cargill won the title, she has no defenses on TV?
Because Jade has gone around hurting everybody.
But, but it we only have three people that
And
can.
they're all injured because of her.
Well, two are. They got the one, and they're trying to build something with
So
them.
I think what we're seeing with Jade, I'm sorry to interrupt here, in my opinion, just based off what I just said, I think they're kind of wary right now to kind of put her in any kind of position like that. I think what they're going to do, and dude, I broke my pinky, okay? I know it's my pinky, but I had to go for surgery and I had to get for operation and everything. I understand it takes time for it to heal, but Bianca has not been around since Mania because of her broken head. The only person I feel that they can put her in with that can handle her is Bianca right now.
I I think they well, and I go back to this argument of they never should have put the title on her. She was not ready.
You all
And
said that. You all said that.
and and now you run into the issue of you don't have enough talent for her to do something with.
Okay, well, Tiffany's ready to come back, right? So she's on the mend. She hasn't been seen since she's lost the title, so she's due to
Right.
back. Bianca's due back anytime now. I don't think there's a problem with enough of the talent there because really, at the end of the day, Nia Jax or even Lash Legend would be great up against her.
They would if they wouldn't have if they're not in the tag team mix.
I get that part, but it's just kind of like the ebbs and flows of the business, man. What's hot
No,
right now? The women tag division. I get it. I get it. I get
no, I get that too, but it's very discouraging when you see the U.S. champion going for the tag titles and never have a defense. It's like then hell, y'all. What's the point of even having the titles there?
no, no. I get it. I
But
get it. I get it. I mean, well,
but
who's got like?
Julia,
I get it. Julia has it, and I think Julia could have been great as the champion too. If you wanted to, you could have put the belt on her, and her and Stephanie carry that storyline, man. Because I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, these girls have been parallel courses. If anything, Stephanie's been a little higher than
All
her
right.
in terms of
Yeah,
that. But I mean, look, let's just see where they go with it, man, because they're gonna go
exactly.
with the face. But let's move on. Let's move
That,
on to the
I was going to
landscaper.
say, definitely, I want to talk about AJ and Nakamura.
Let's move on to that. AJ Nakamura, again, storytelling done very, very well. AJ gets the victory. But the story here, ladies and gentlemen, was where is AJ's mind? Where is AJ going? Why isn't AJ look discombobulated during this match? He didn't look all right because he's thinking about Gunther the whole time. This upcoming retirement match at the Royal Rumble. I get it. The match was good though. I missed that. I was so happy to see Shinsuke do the old, major league big balls kind of thing,
Right, right.
right? Yes, that's where he got it from, ladies and gentlemen. Major League. Go back and watch it. Charlie Sheen at his finest.
I uh I told my wife, I was like, oh, I said they've made him go back to his normal self now. I said, okay. I said they've ruined him by changing him so many times, but I'm looking forward to the match. They didn't disappoint.
No,
And the key thing that I have to give credit to, Wade Barrett and uh, Michael Cole, they kept you understanding that was a great storytelling match
yeah,
because you had the commentary team able to sit there like, hey, this is a mistake. He
yeah,
shouldn't have took this match because
no,
he's thinking about Gunther. You see what he and even Bird was like, he's a step off. He's just his mind is on that. And
hmm.
then, and then he finally kicked in. He's like, okay, he's AJ is here now.
Yeah, when
It was
Shinsuke made the mistake of doing the big balls thing, man. After that,
I
AJ came
know,
back, right?
but I loved it. That
Yeah,
match. I have to say this again, going back to just Saturday night main event.
yes.
This was the best main event I've seen in quite some time.
No, no.
Quite some time.
And this is just an example of why people should not sleep on AJ Styles. Like this is his final year, and I get it why he took the match because he wants to get all of them in before he retires this year, right? So
Right.
from that perspective, from behind the scenes, pull down the curtain a little bit. I understand why the match happened and whatnot. Guys and girls out there, listen, if you're watching to Professor on the Samp every Monday morning, um, guys, AJ Styles is phenomenal. Like at this age, if we're saying that this was an amazing match, take it all in, man. Enjoy it because he's not going to be here much longer.
Uh, and honestly, I if it ends Saturday, I would not be surprised. And I think it'll be poetic
I think
of
AJ
an
wins though.
ending. Huh?
I think AJ wins.
I don't. I think this is I think for a couple of reasons why it would be poetic because he came in at the Royal Rumble
You're
and
right.
he leaves at the Royal Rumble.
I
That I
appreciate
like
that.
that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But if I think he has more time than just January.
Well, then I think if he wins, it's going to take a lot of shine off of Gunther that you just got back to making him a beast.
No, I get that, but what if he wins by cheating? What if he uses his own techniques against him and that opens the door for the potential retirement match to take place at Mania if the Brock thing doesn't work out?
I can see it.
That's all I'm saying. I mean, there's some way that AJ, through trial and tribulation, he doesn't want to retire, so he resorts to cheating in some way. Unintentionally, intentionally, whatever the case may be, he does something which causes him to win the match via disqualification, via whatever the case may be. You can keep Gunther strong, and then you could even do this whole thing where Gunther was cheated. Wrestling fans are fickle, man. Let's go back to WrestleMania 13, the biggest double switch in the history of wrestling. No words were spoken. finest storytelling in the ring at the time, in my opinion, between one Stone Cold Steve Austin and Canadian legend Bret Hart. Okay. Bret walked into that match as the fan favorite. Stone Cold hated man. By the end of that match, without anything spoken, both men, one new heel and a new face.
Uh, I just don't see for everything what they've done with Gunther and where they're uh, attentionally, I mean, potentially going with him. If you, I think it will ruin the retirement thing if he becomes a face.
No,
Uh,
I get that, but I'm just saying he's planting the seeds, not necessarily right now, but planting
right,
seeds, right? Of dissension a little bit. Like, I mean, some of the best heel to face changes take place over a few months, and it's the little details, in terms of your move set, in terms of your ring gear, some of the what's considered heel move sets, what's considered face move sets, right?
right.
We can break it down. Like, this is how deep the psychology goes in professional wrestling. Most people who watch it on TV just see the show for the show. But we're looking
Yeah.
at the cut angles. We're looking at me anyways, and you to a certain extent, and other people out there as well. We're looking at the fine details.
Oh, yeah,
Our
definitely.
fandom has grown to a certain point where we don't see punches anymore. We look at
We're
where your feet are planted when you're throwing that punch.
looking at how your facial expressions,
Exactly.
uh, I mean, you're 100% right on that.
Right. So just from that perspective, we see it differently, right? So
Right.
we could be wrong, and maybe this is his retirement. It's kind of early because it's only January. That's what I'm saying. Like, I just almost feel
No,
it's almost too soon.
well, and see, that's the thing too. That's why I think it would be more of a great angle because nobody expected this
This early.
because yeah, and it's like, and I think the key to that too is the John Cena effect, as I like to call it. Everybody thinks he's going to go most of the year before he retires because we're used to the John Cena announcing,
Yeah.
"Hey, I'm going to wrestle for another year." He
But AJ never did.
exactly, and that's the point
It was the
of
dirt sheets. It was the Brian Alvarez's and Dave Meltzer's of the world that announced it.
well, and that's the thing. He never said how long he was. He didn't break it down. I'm leaving in July, or I'm wrestling all of
To be honest, man,
2026.
let's be realistic. The man probably would have retired in 2025 if he wasn't injured. Because of his injury, that time was still on the contract, right?
Right,
This is the reason he's going into 2026. If I'm not mistaken, he's good up until after WrestleMania. So that's
so
why I'm concerned. Like, what are you going to do? Then he just sits at home for 4 months? What kind of retirement is that? That's no way to go
well,
out.
hey,
Does he want to go out
hey,
in Saudi Arabia? Wouldn't he rather do a Raw or a SmackDown in Atlanta or something? Because they're going to go there. TNA's still up in the air. You want to get
hey,
some numbers and faces to AMC? You still have him for 3 months.
that's true. And that's the beautiful part about it. And that's why we do this because we're just giving our perspective and what we would like to see or what we think we're going to see. And it's a beautiful thing. Like I've said many a times, we look at wrestling different than other people. And when we get fooled, we enjoy that. It's like, wow, they got us. That was good. Didn't see it.
It doesn't
Oh,
happen
we looking
anymore.
back at, bam. You know what? I should have seen it because of this. That was a key thing that we missed.
I said to Vince Russo, and I could tell that he was surprised that I was able to drop this on him. I said to him, I go back with you as far as Vic Venom when you wrote the editorials for the WWE magazine. And in that year of 1996, there was two other guys out there. One was Scoops and another guy called Mikasa. They were the only two dudes doing dirt sheets at the time. So from that day forth, everything in the wrestling world changed. And he agreed because I said, you were doing a wrestling talk show. in college before anybody else. So your innovations and his ability to kind of do things a little different, hate him or love him, Bear. The guy was a little bit ahead of his time in that sense.
You
In terms
know,
of media, before podcasts and all this stuff that was happening.
no, I was gonna say I never
I know. I'm just having fun with the bear.
my biggest thing with
Poke, poke,
Russo right
poke,
now
poke.
is nothing. Um,
No, dude, honestly, and he's a polarizing guy, right?
yeah, and that's the thing.
Polarizing. Hate him or love him,
That's
he's polarizing. And I asked him that question. How do you deal with the polarization? Like you being in the talk for decades, good or bad. And you got to watch the show to find out his answer. I'll leave it at that. But listen, here's my thing on AJ Styles before we move on,
okay.
because we got to move on.
All right.
AJ loses. I'm just going to throw this out to you and tell me what you think. Okay. AJ loses, but but he says, okay. And then he shows up on AMC at TNA, say, I retired from the WWE, but didn't say I retired from wrestling. And he finishes his run over there.
I, I wouldn't be mad at that. I really
No?
wouldn't.
Okay. Okay. So that's a possibility as well, right?
Yeah,
So
definitely.
I feel this retirement is unofficial until he puts that final book into TNA, and there's no better opportunity right now because of the relationship with the two companies.
That's
You teased
true.
it earlier when he showed up there on the first AMC.
Yeah,
It's
and this
already been
is second
teased.
time.
It's already been teased. So why not give him one more run with that and prop that company up? AJ Styles could bring over 100,000 views for that channel just on the virtue of him. And I'm not talking about WWE fans. I'm talking about New Japan fans. I'm talking about the indie fans. I
The
mean, at
people
one time he was the indie king.
I
Before
was
him,
about to say
it was Prince Devitt,
the
Finn
people
Balor.
that know the people that know
No,
the phenomenal
exactly,
AJ Styles.
exactly, right? I mean, currently, I mean, the crown of the indie king was given to Woo Woo Woo, right? He was the king of the indie scene, but now you know who I think is the new indie king?
Who's that?
Dolph. Dolph is taking that title slowly now. He showed at JCW. He's everywhere.
Yeah. Uh,
He's basically doing what Matt Cardona did. He just picked up
yeah, yeah,
where Matt left off.
yeah, you're right about that.
He's everywhere right now. He's the new indie king, man.
So,
Very quickly on Matt Cardona, what a already losing?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna save mine for a couple of weeks.
Okay, so we'll just say yeah on that one. All right, let's go to the landscaper, who is the son of Montreal and is now going to carry Saudi Arabia on his back, as Michael Cole said, into the Royal Rumble. I don't have a problem with it because this gets Sammy off the ledger. Now, how many guys called out in the beginning of the year? We had Matt Cardona saying, I'm coming after the title. Damian Priest, I want the title. Randy Orton, I want the title. And then Sammy, the title too. Okay, so hate him or love him, the man is an amazing athlete in the ring. He knows wrestling, he knows psychology. He's one of the last few old school guys, in my opinion, that knows how to work. Okay, I don't have a problem with it. And I don't have a problem with it because it gets him off the ledger in terms of
Quickly,
going after the championship.
right?
So give him the opportunity. He can lose there, and that's fine.
I I I told people all the time. I like Sammy's winning this. I like they're gonna give him that shot. I said now if he, I could see him finally conquering his demons and winning. Not now, but I can see it later on down in the year.
Possibly, let's see what they do. But I mean, right now he just doesn't, like I get it, and people are complaining, blah blah blah, because everybody has to have something to complain about. And ironically enough, most of the people that are complaining about Sami Zayn are guys who've never seen a gym in their life. So I'm just saying, I'm sorry. Let's just call this, let's just call it what it is, right? I mean,
Right.
everyone who complains about this guy for the most part for the most part, wouldn't be able to tie your shoelaces, let alone tie their own or see their own feet.
I tell you that
I'm Bobby Sampson, by the way.
that four-way was very good.
It was quick.
The dynamic played out better than I thought because I love just and I with watching SmackDown with Priest and Sammy having that tension. I enjoyed it. It was just a lot of good work in that space. And funny enough, this was a SmackDown show, basically.
Well, look, it was basically a SmackDown showcase. Other Saturday nights and main events are Raw showcases, right?
Yeah,
And that's basically what it is, right? And I get that. I'm happy Drew's champion. It should have been done a long time ago.
yeah.
As happy as I am to see the good guy win the title, wrestling is always better when the bad guy's the champion. I don't
Oh
know
yeah,
if
yeah. The
that's
chase.
something I don't know if that's something that's burned in my mind as something that is normal because growing up with Ric Flair as the bad guy champion always made more sense. I'm more invested in chasers than a good
Yes,
guy champion.
yes.
I hate to
Because
say it, it's true. It's a fact.
yeah, because
Look at every
because
look
because
at
it's like this.
yeah.
You want you invest into that good guy. You want to see the good. Who does not love any type of story when the good guy wins? We root for him. That's why we root for
Let's
underdogs
look at these
because
movies. Let's look at the
we
movies where the good guy wins at the end.
exactly,
And when we come back to the sequel, he's all broken as shit in the beginning of the movie because all this shit happened and he lost everything again, and he's chasing one more time.
exactly.
Right? Nobody wants to see the movie of the good guy as a champion. Nobody wants to see that movie because it's boring. After a while, it's like, what do yeah, you're the good guy, you're the champion. That's why we all hate on the guy after a while. Why do you think everyone
That's
hated
why.
on Cena after a while?
That's why Brett and Stone Cold turn was brilliant in its design because we just got tired of this. Hey, you're the good guy. You're cookie cutter.
Yeah,
I do this. You was a robot.
yeah.
And Steve was something of a rebel. And we, who didn't want to punch their boss in the face one time or walk out or something? So that's the reason why wrestling had that attitude there because it was fitting to what was the feeling then.
Mm-hmm.
I think now with how things are going, and it's funny, whatever is old becomes new again.
Well, look, a guitar only has six strings. The bass only has four. You can only get so much out of it before regurgitation starts to happen. And if you look at modern music and you look at modern wrestling and you look at modern TV shows and you look at modern movies, they're all based off of movies that happened in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, right?
Right.
So a lot of the storylines that we see today, we saw in the 80s at a different level, at a different time. So
Yep.
I get it. And that's just the wrestling business. All right, so we got the Royal Rumble coming up in Saudi Arabia. First time the Rumble. I don't know if the greatest Royal Rumble could be considered this, but in terms of January, this is the first time the Rumble is not on North American soil.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. So here's my question to you. Do
Okay.
we want to see a ladies Royal Rumble with full body jumpsuits?
I'm okay with it.
Will that take away from the match though, because the costumes are a big part of it?
No.
Or am
No.
I just a dirty guy?
Let me say it like this. This is great that they're going to have bodysuits because that's going to show you
The talent.
it's going to show you that you actually like these women for their talent
Yeah.
or you just looking at their bodies.
I'm
Again,
doing both.
I look at the bodies. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I don't,
No, I do
but
both, man. I do both.
no, and that's the thing. I'm just more interested in the wrestling. And let them show their athletes, let put them on even playing ground.
Sure.
That's all I'm saying. And
No,
that's
no,
why I love it. And another
I love it
reason,
too. I love it too.
let me tell you the best reason why I love the Royal Rumble is in Saudi. It comes on at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I can After that goes off, me and the wife can do whatever.
That's beautiful. No, good for you, man. So that means it's 11 o'clock in the morning for me,
Yeah.
right? So that's not a problem. I have no problem with any of that at all. I'm just kind of curious to see because I'm getting rumblings that a lot of people within the company, talent included, are not happy about WrestleMania being in Saudi because of the restrictions, because of the laws and how it plays out. WrestleMania week is not a drunken fest, but it's a tipsy fest, right? Good
Right.
drinks, lots of fun. Everyone's doing that. It's going to be kind of interesting seeing how this kind of plays out with the Royal Rumble first and foremost, right? So I'm kind of curious to see how that goes. All right, I tell you what, we got the men's Rumble coming up. We don't know all the names in there. We don't know all the names in the girls Rumble. We do know that we're probably going to get. Well, we got Gunther versus AJ. We know that we got um
Sammy versus
Sammy.
McIntyre.
Right. Who's Punk fighting?
Not Punk is not wrestling. Because now this will be uh
Interesting.
it'll be a 4 to 5 card match because you got to think both Royal Rumbles go over an hour.
Right.
Then the other two we may get one more match.
We should, but we should get both championships defended there. In
Uh,
my opinion.
I honestly doubt that he's going to defend.
That's
I
interesting.
really do.
I guess we'll see how it all plays out. But okay, so very quickly, man, off the top of your dome, I'm putting you on the spot, and I'll put myself on the spot as well. Who do you think is going to win both Rumbles? If you had to pick
Mm.
out a name right now, who do you think was going to do it?
If I had to pick, I'm gonna go with. Mm, Geez, the thing.
It's a tough one, right? Because we don't.
Yeah, because one, uh the women are just so is not so many, and they're so tied up in different aspects. But
But
I
the
would
Rumble's
say
a Rumble, man.
I think it'll be a newer person for the women. I would honestly, I don't know. God, I don't know.
My early pick for
Let
me.
me do the men.
Okay.
Men's a tad easier, not much, but a tad. If I was gonna go with the men, I would do hell. I would go with Oba Femby.
Oba could come in pretty strong like that too, right? Throw him right into the picture. I can see that. I don't think it's going to be that way. Here's my picks for the two.
Okay,
I'm going Liv Morgan
okay.
for the women's. I think that they're going to give her a killer push here. She's doing great work already. Just coming back to the Judgment Day and kind of elevating it
Oh yeah.
the way she has on her own. I think that's going to be someone I'm going to be watching out for here on the show. I think Liv has come close a couple times now. She's been a runner up now, maybe 2 times, three times,
Three.
3 times she's been a runner up. Her and one other girl I can't recall right now are the only two going into this Rumble being there on all 8. I don't know who the other
It's
girl is.
her and Natty.
And Natty have been in all 8, right? I
Yep.
think this could be Liv's moment, and she's done the work. She's earned it, in my opinion. Now, on the men's side,
Right.
I think it's going to be Jacob. I think Jacob is due for that push as well. You want a fresh new face and this or that. And when we're talking about the bloodline, the two guys that have been the most successful have been Solo and Jacob,
Yeah.
right? And Solo more so because he really, really broke away from that picture. There's
And
one
nobody
guy
thought
laying his own tracks is Solo.
I was about to say, and nobody ever thought he could do it.
No, and he's doing a great job. I hate him
Yes,
or
he
love
is.
him. Be pissed off with him, whatever you want. When you look at the greater scheme of things, those Uso brothers can't let go of Roman. Roman somehow is connected to them forever,
Oh yeah,
right? Solo was the right hand man. Solo was all those things, and he's done everything without him,
yep.
right? So respect to that. So I'm saying Jacob is my
I got my I got my women's
who's your woman, man.
Chelsea Green.
Chelsea would be good too. But did you see what Michael Hayes said?
Uh-uh.
So he's made a comment that Chelsea's great and everything, but she could never be a Charlotte or a Bailey or a Becky. She's great in the role that she's in and elevating and doing all those things, but he didn't see her as that next level.
Yeah, I have to humbly disagree with Mr. Hayes
Now, don't
because
quote me on it. I'm
no,
totally
no,
paraphrasing.
no. And what I mean by that is a lot of people who we see as the mid carders. We don't think they can make that next step to Chelsea got it all.
Yeah,
She has it all. And she is in that unusual place where no, even when she's a heel, she gets cheered. Anywhere she goes, she could do it. She could take that next step easily, I think.
totally agree
And
with you, and I think
what
she.
she does with it, it'd be, whatever from there. But
And the other
I
thing
could
about
honestly
Chelsea,
see her getting that title run.
no, and I'm happy. I wouldn't be upset about that either at all. I mean, when you look at Chelsea Green, man, the bumps this girl takes, like the beatings, she legitimately takes some of the hardest bumps out of any of the girls I've seen in
Oh
general,
yeah.
especially
Oh
at the
yeah.
Royal Rumbles. Look how much she got her ass kicked at the last couple ones. And I get
Hell,
it, she was in a comedic role, right? It was almost a
mhm.
comedy sense of it all, but man, she took some serious, serious hits.
Hell, look at the Money in the Bank
There
spot.
you go. Yeah,
Man, and she still that's what I like about her. She takes all these extreme bumps, whatever, but she still has the selling ability. She does so much, and she can make you laugh so easy, and
and
don't have to really do anything.
and the best part is she's from Vancouver. Just saying, just saying. I've watched Chelsea Green on the Indies here. So in a way, I'm kind of vested in her because I've watched her since the beginning,
Yes.
right? Like I've legitimately been there, seen her, and whatnot. So good for her. I hope she gets the opportunity. But I really feel that right now, this is going to be Liv.
So, quick question.
Mm,
Do you think Bianca makes a return?
I think so. I mean, she has to be one of the surprises in the girls' rumble. Her hands have to be healed by now. Like there's this, I don't know. Like they're keeping her up for TV, which is great. But I think her coming back could be very strong as well.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, I think
that
so
being
too.
said, she could win it too because that could set you up for Jade, right? I mean, all eyes are pointing Jade Bianca Mania. That's the
Yep.
direction that we're looking at, right? So, but that being said, Rusev, last thing we talk about here, okay? Rusev, oh, sorry, very quickly. AJ Gunther, quickly, what do you say?
Oh, Gunther.
Okay, I'm going to go AJ just so we can have a different take on it based on our
Right.
conversation. So we've picked our males and females. We picked that. Sammy versus Drew. I'm going to go Drew.
Drew. Drew.
Drew, right? But by the skin of his teeth, he'll win it. But we're going to be led to believe throughout that entire match that this is Sammy's time. This is Sammy's time. But he's going to get caught at the last minute.
I think it's going to be an awesome ass
Yeah,
match.
yeah.
I really do.
No, they do. They really are. Um, okay, the Street Profits and Rusev. I hate radio silence on a podcast because that means we have nothing to say. But what
No,
are they doing? No, no, I know. Well, we have lots to say, but
I
it's
guess,
like, what are they doing with these guys?
yeah. Rusev.
That was the worst bring back ever, man. You should
Oh
just
no,
send him back with Andrade.
poor Rusev. But
Is it
then,
for Rusev? Because he
well,
didn't get shit done
well,
in AEW either.
well, and I say this about him too, with his wife being pregnant. Maybe that plays a part of it. I don't know.
Oh man, a lot of wrestling guys have been pregnant and
Man,
it's gone fucking.
man, I ain't trying to kill Rusev. Let me have this one on him. And then the Street Profits, I think they're just to
According to
honestly to the
reports,
point,
according
huh?
to reports, they're keeping them off TV so they look fresh when they come back. Well, wasn't that the case the first time, the second time,
I'm
the
about to
third
say that's
time,
the
fourth
third or
time,
fourth time they've done this. I'm
right?
thinking I want to see them in the Indies or at AEW. I just to see if they could do more than what they were allowed to do in WWE.
Yeah,
And
you can.
a quick thing too. Isn't it amazing how many AEW stars are in WWE and they're top guys and girls? You got Jade, you got Cody, you got Punk, you got Ricky Saints, uh, then Powerhouse Hobbs coming over.
Well, hey, he's coming up.
And to me, I love all of this because this is why you have to have competition so people can go reinvent themselves,
No,
do different
100%.
things.
I get that. This is
I
good
love it.
stuff, but I don't know if the Street Profits would benefit from AEW. I just don't.
I think they
They'll
make
come
more
in with a
money on
bang.
the
Hey,
indie.
dude, honestly, brother, they'll come in with a bang. But like everyone else, I mean, I can pinpoint it exactly to you. Bobby Lashley, one of the biggest names in professional wrestling. What have they done with him? He should have been
They,
AEW champion by now.
I didn't have a
I'm just
problem.
saying.
I don't have a problem with what they did with him. The tag thing was good, and it kept him away from it
But
until
here's the
more
way.
people, some of their bigger names come back.
Okay, I get that, but here's the problem I have with it. Right now, you have a guy who's near the end, legitimately near the end. Okay, what he's been doing is something that you do at the very end as a final run. He has enough power and strength that he could still carry everything in terms of being a world champion and being in that spot. Okay. You're taking that away. The longer they prolong this, the harder it's going to be to believe it.
Well, I think when he comes back, that's when he'll be world title bound.
Well,
He'll
I
be
hope
in.
so because it's a little too late, in my opinion. It's not going to have the same
I
effect.
understand. I understand that. I understand why you see it that way too.
I'm
I
just
mean,
looking at what he's done throughout his whole career. You had a guy. I'm not saying it's exactly like that, but it's like WCW dropping the ball on Brett. If you wanted, we would be talking about a completely different wrestling landscape, in my opinion, if Brett had walked out Monday night on Nitro, opposed to 6 months later. He was completely free. He had no other thing holding him back. There was no 90-day wait period, nothing like that. He could have showed up on Nitro after the screw job that Monday.
yeah, do like Medusa, just rant like hell. You
Well,
know,
right
Brett
now,
good at it.
that's it. And people would have sold it, right? Well, Vince McMahon did not waste the opportunity by bringing up midget Vince or Brett.
Yeah,
Okay, that's 24 hours removed, and he was able to find a midget to do it.
yeah.
They picked up the ball right away, and this is the difference. This is why I'm saying, that dropping of that ball. Then this is what I feel like they've done with Lashley, not to that magnitude, but the opportunity to grow your company. That's my issue with it.
Again, I get it. I get it. I definitely see the point. Your
And we
point.
always keep complaining about WWE. Oh, the same four guys are fighting after the belt. Well, isn't AEW doing the same thing? I'm like, I don't want to see Hangman. I don't want to see, Hangman and Samoa Joe and the regular names as we're always seeing them now. Right? Like, it's
Well,
move on.
well, I was about to say they're the top guys. All of them have legitimate storylines that could go to. tangle with Max.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
and that's why I liked about it, because out of all those people, we don't know where they're going with it.
No, no, we don't. We don't. But I'm just saying, like,
And
if we're criticizing one, we should look at the other and criticize
well,
the same.
and I have,
And
and
you
that was
have,
one
and
of
I
my
have. Yes.
yeah, and that was one of my arguments against WWE. Who do you have legitimate to be a world champion? At least AEW have legitimate people in place with storylines that you can intertwine, and that's where I felt like. And now it's like in Punk's case, okay, he beat Braun. Who else? They who Finn nobody takes serious because they jobbed him out.
That was a good match, though.
No, no, I'm not talking about as far as match. I'm just saying his character. They've
Yeah.
made him so laughable, unfortunately. And it's like, who else? Who else?
No, I mean, they're there. They're there. The guys
Yeah.
are there. They're just working their way up there, but we're getting it. We're getting it. I believe we're gonna get it, right? I think WWE's learned from their mistakes of 2025. And
Mm.
well, no, I think they have, dude. We gotta give them a little bit of time here, right? Like
No, no, no. I'm not saying, what I'm saying is, it's not that I don't trust they're going to put on some fantastic stuff.
yeah.
WWE does. Especially, generally, Road to WrestleMania stuff usually cooks.
Mhm.
So I'm not worried about that. But
So,
I don't think they've learned their lesson just yet.
we'll guess we'll find out. I'm hopeful.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
hopeful. I'm
Yeah.
hopeful.
Hey, I'm
Right?
hope I
I'm
hope I'm
hopeful.
wrong, because when I'm
I'm
wrong,
getting
that
I'm
means
getting
that's more
tired.
wrestling action I get to see.
Bear, I'm getting tired of defending the show I love. I really am. Right?
I
Like
get it.
I'm start to get tired now a little bit, but that's okay. I'll defend it because I've loved it this long. I can't stop loving it. Right? Uh,
Hey,
right. So I'm gonna
the,
throw this to you, and then we're gonna go and get crazy with everything because I know Mama Bear standing behind that door with a bowl of porridge, and there's nothing worse than a Samp getting stuck between Professor Bear and Mama Bear. So let's wrap this up really quickly.
all right,
2026, I'm going to leave you with this image. Okay.
all
After
right.
WrestleMania, Monday Night Raw, no music. The very first thing that comes on the screen is Vince McMahon. It says, I'm back. And right there and then, the Saudis and Vince McMahon have bought the company. Now, hold on. Here's the best storyline because this is what he's good at. You're not going to fire Triple H and you're not going to fire Stephanie. You're going to turn it into a storyline. I left you with my company, and this is what you've done to it.
I will say this.
Wouldn't it be a good story though? That's a great story, man.
I
Right?
I would probably I'm not gonna lie. I would lose my shit if Vince got the company back. I would.
I'm telling you, it's going to happen. I believe it's going to happen. He's got enough money. Plus, he's got the Saudis. There's something cooking there, man. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. TKO
Oh yeah.
didn't realize what they bought and how much it actually costs. They didn't realize how much it costs to run it week to week. They didn't realize how much it costs to do all the things. At least with UFC, it's only once a week. With UFC, it's only one pay-per-view a month. With UFC, you don't really have that much more content to deal with. I mean, let's look at wrestling right now. You got Monday Night Raw, you got NXT, you got AEW. I'm on Wednesday. You got TNA. This Friday, SmackDown. 5 days of wrestling content.
Yeah.
3 of them are done by the WWE.
And
Forget
and we didn't
pay-per-views,
even
forget
mention
Saturday.
their Evolve on
Exactly,
Wednesday.
exactly. Now, that being all said and done, I really believe that's going to happen this year at some point. I could be wrong. Maybe I could be completely wrong, but in my
I
hearts,
I think you're half right. I think the Saudis are gonna get it.
Saudis are going to get it with Vince, and Vince is going to come back.
We, we, we will see, and have we will see, and I think everybody would
Look,
lose
how
their
long? How,
mind.
this
good
Janelle,
and bad.
look, this Janelle Grant, unfortunately, we don't really talk about it, but this lawsuit and everything that's going on, it's been going on for so long. The longer it goes, the more it tells me that Vince is just gonna carry on. Okay. I mean, it just history has shown us if there was merit to any of this, it would have ended a long time ago. All right. There's text messages, there's documents, there's proof of this, there's proof of that. None of it means jack shit because it's still going on. This should have ended a long time ago based on everything that we know.
I always say it's not what you know, it's who you know.
That's why I'm saying this the longer this goes on, the more you know that Vince is walking away. Just
But
it's simple.
we'll see.
Right? And no disrespect to the wonderful country that you live in, but we've seen that in the last 10 years with America overall.
Yeah.
Right? And
Hell,
right now
longer
we're
than
not
that,
favorites,
honestly.
right? Right now,
Hey,
especially right now, Canada is not really, um, America's not happy with us. Let's just leave it at that.
well, hey, I can tell you this. It's not normal folks like us. We're
No,
actually thrilled and laughing about it.
no,
I can
but
tell you.
here's the reality is I'm going to end the show here. Okay. Very simply, I'm just going to say this. Okay. I'm not a political guy, but to your government, I'll say this. Canada does not live for the US. We live for ourselves. Thank you very much. Okay. I'll leave it
And
at that.
you
All right. Look,
should.
guys and gals, we've been going on and we're just making up time because I didn't talk to my brother for 2 weeks, man. So I'm glad to get this off, right? I texted you earlier, like, where is everybody? Felt
Yeah, you
sad.
did.
I did. I felt sad. I'm like, where are my brothers? I don't know where everyone is. But then I realized you're all caught up in snowstorms and whatnot and porridge bowls and you name it. So, hey,
Man,
guys and gals, I'm Bobby Sampson. He is Professor Bear, the man who runs the force, the true historian,
yeah,
the real, the man who knows
somebody,
wrestling. Okay, there's no dean
somebody's
in
gonna
this
get
world that can touch us. And if we look at
somebody's gonna get their license revoked.
and if
But
we look at deans in professional wrestling, how many of them actually had a successful run? Shane Douglas only made 2 promos as Dean Shane Douglas before he was released, right? Leaping Manny Poffo just did cartwheels as a Dean. Now we're dealing with a current Dean, and it's my fault because I gave him the name Dean.
and it went to his head. Love
It
him
went
to
to his
death,
head. God bless him. When I see this man, I just want to pinch his cheeks.
but
Now we
I
know he's
want
going to be watching till the end here because he'll have something to say about that.
I want to just see his cat. That's why I tune in.
Hey, dude, it's all about the cat, right? I mean, when the cat's a bigger draw than yourself, then I understand why you want to be called the dean.
I'm, I'm gonna start making shirts and let his cat make money.
Done. Let's do it, brother man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's Monday morning. Hopefully, you're all safe at work by now. If you're late because you sat in the car listening to the whole show, I apologize. You can give your bosses our number. We won't answer, we won't respond, but you can give them our number. All that being said and done, we got the Royal Rumble. We got a whole week of stuff coming up here. So, by the time the Rumble happens, there might be some new matches that are added to the card tonight on Monday Night Raw. We don't know. But based on the current formula, we're looking at about maybe another match, like you said, Bear, which makes sense. I don't know what that's going to be, but we'll find out here. This Monday, though, I do believe, no, it would be next Friday. Kiana James and Julia get their shot at
That the tag
Rio.
titles.
So we got that happening there.
Oh, and then on AEW they got I think 3 title matches.
Right. We'll just leave it at that because I don't know what they are and I don't want to sound silly. So tune into AEW this week as well because they got some great stuff going on there. I know we hammered them a little bit today, but that's just what we do. But if you notice, the way we hammer people is very different from the way the wrestling media does in general and all the smart marks on internet. So all that being said, God bless you all. Have a great week. No matter where you are, please be safe. And remember, at the end of the
Yes.
day, if you want to be successful, if you want to achieve your goals, only you can do it. Okay? That's the most important thing. Anyone who shits on you, anyone who tells you you can't, they just saying it because they're too afraid to do it themselves. Professor Samp or Professor Bear and the Samp are out.
They're Professor and the Samp, yes, Professor and the Samp. One's a historian, the other loves to chant. They talk about the fights, all the slams and lights. It's wrestling mayhem day and night. They're Professor and the Samp, yes, Professor and the Samp. Their takes are quite insane, the wrestling world's their game. They break it down.